Hello, my name is Deanne Truskillock. I'm here today to read to you from the White Wizard of Hofstar series, Book 2, Collective Minds. We're on Chapter 15, titled Outed. So if you haven't read the other ones, please listen to the previous chapters. Thank you. Only a few days has passed since the frightful night, yet their village seems unmolested. The sun is warm, and the winds rise from the south to greet the north. Everything looks fresh. The fields are ripe, and beyond low ridges are crowned with holly trees of the deepest green leaves and the red berries that glow in the light. To an unsuspecting observer, all seems ordinary, but in their eyes is a cavernous that speaks of their heavy hearts despite their cheery smiles. Every day since the last attack, the council has met to discuss the ongoing attacks by the Nedenjar and question of if and when the dragon will appear. Too many uncertainties lay across their laps. At length they sit uneasy, discussing the episodes and anticipating events in search of resolutions towards tidings. The waiting for a major assault on the village hangs in the air like a putrid stench that permeates their countenance. It seems to them that the act is overdue, judging by the Nedenjar's past swiftness of action. It is most uncomfortable for them to be wrong about the when the where is anyone's guess. Thus far the seven toss about possible schemes, with first upright and legs crossed, later slouched, head scratching, chin rubbing, to hunched over and arms crossed. The more the meetings, the longer the silence grows, and the less the input. Again, the group agrees, staring between the two members. Very well, Farfdir yields. Speak, Bodhi. Unpack your troubles, that rumors have weighed upon you. Tell us what you've heard. All sit on the edge of their seats, attentive, as Bodhi recounts with much fervor his experience with the rescued elves. He makes sure to exaggerate the details of his not-so-glorious bout with the Nedenjar, making sure to make himself much mightier and braver than he actually is, though Bodhi is indeed a brave elf. As I regained consciousness, he recalls, with my own ears I heard him. Heard who? Questioned Soki, imagining the Nedenjar surrounding him, as they all were. All of them, Bodhi says almost breathlessly. The rescued elves and the army troops. They all pledged their allegiance to Jukanum Tun, seed of Husami. The room shudders, with grasping followed quickly by low murmuring. Breathlessly they discern themselves as submerged under the weight of a crumbling Hofstar. Frantically they mean to piece it all back together. I was there, Farfdir interjects, and I heard no such thing. No, Bodhi defends, you would not. All these things took place before your arrival. Jukanum sits uncomfortably, knowing that most of which he speaks is true. Part of her wants to roast him for his words, but the other half esteems him. Torn in her feelings for the elf, she grips her staff and whispers, Shuklik. Within the sediment of the forest, The elves go about their day with memories of the Nerenjar clinging like shadows. She ventures to the edge of their forest to push the boundaries. How far can she reach? As a swimmer touching her toes to test the water, she tests the Shoop League. The ocean has too many emotions in various directions. Thus she focuses on the ships. The fleet's presence is clear, and so is Eleanor. All the signs of unease and anxiety are within them. She then returns her presence, missing all of what is being said about her, uncaring. This is her intent. So speak up, child, Seer asserts, eyeing her vacant face, suspicious of her secret activities. He knows of her brief trip, as do the others, keener. Defend yourself, Yeeham tells her. What are you plotting? I am planning, as I stated in the past few meetings, to board Chachayu on ship Eleanor to keep him away from the Nerenjar. And I have been corresponding with Captain Urani since I freed her from Captain Aubrey. Her ship is equipped with ballista for the purpose of dragon attacks and safe from Nerenjars, which, by the way, we have not heard from since the last attack. I also propose that we get in close and sabotage the fleet's efforts before they reach land. This will ensure the safety of our homes. No, the actor asserts, annoyed. Why have you seized our army and yo? Turkanum sincerely turns to Bodhi. Do you think you get ahead of yourself? Perhaps it was the knock on your head. You did take a heavy blow. You are brave. I commend you for this. I cannot say with any measure of certainty, as I was not your medic. It is true that some pledged loyalty to me for saving their lives, but it was nothing more than this. I fail to see how grateful Alpha are of any concern at this late hour in the war. We should be agreeing on a strategy. Where is the general? I fail to see how our meeting will do any good without the sage advice of those experienced in such matters as war. Perhaps because we are not trying to perpetuate the war, but end it, Farfadale reminds her, with a stern look in his eye. The problem with war is that it's about absolutes. Victory or defeat. Life is not absolute. Creatures are not absolute by nature. What you fail to recognize is that the Nepals do not recognize us as equals. They have a history of wiping out races or enslaving them. How do you propose we negotiate with this mentality? I do not trust that we can make peace with them, Turkana maintained, reflecting on Valtus Castovis' library in Tundran. Was peace not your idea? Silky asked Turkana. Yes, I was young with wild fancies. I am more erudite, with a solid grasp of humans. I still aspire for peace, yet I am not deluded. The Nepatimors are invaders. This is what they do. There are other lands far to the east that they have conquered, entire peoples slaughtered with complete disregard to life. They will not be satisfied with simple peace. You project your hearts and desires on them unwisely. Have you seen this? Have you seen them? How do you know? Questioned Seer. My trip to the Tundran has taught me many things of the world. Perhaps you should broaden your judgment, learn of other cultures. Captain Urani, Farfetch'd says, rubbing his chin. Can you trust her and her sources? We are in reciprocal consolations with the Hiddipu, as per your suggestion, he says with a pleasant smile. Her name has arisen at some point, and it was made known of her shady associations and deeds. Yes, I am aware, but not of the particulars. So what do you propose exactly, since you're always so full of answers? Bodhi asked loudly. You and your army, he mutters low. I can thwart their attempts to reach land, delay any efforts to reach Haftar, or sink their ships. I'll consent to the ship's solution, as I would hate to see little Chicheyu killed. But under one condition, Farfetch'd tells Turconnam, to the surprise of the group. Their hushed tones and faces reveal their undecided minds. Gathering this, Farfetch'd stands and walks around the room, addressing each equally. I concur we must stand firm together, all Alpha undivided. Bodhi does have a legitimate concern, as I too have heard tell of the unraveling of our social structure by the growing discontent among the commoners and their place. As more of them learn to read, the more unrest. Though you, Turconnam, are not personally doing the deed, it is still being done in your name. An intra-Haftarian conflict within an intra-Haftarian amidst the ongoing attacks from the outer world would surely doom us all. My consent is to go in stealth. Take the dragon. To sate the Nedenjar and keep away any would-be dragons. With the threat of the dragon gone, at least we can deal with just negotiations, though we are more palaver than straight talk. However, under no conditions are you to go near the ships. Your task is to take your ship west, away from the fleet. Heads turn to each other, and whispering ensues as Turconnam sits dissatisfied, conniving as nascent in her thoughts, how to make any mishaps to their ships appear as a natural disaster. Whatever she decides, it must be in secret. There are 2 council members left that have not received a task as of late, Farfetch'd states to all. Bodhi and Dihak both gaze upon each other, worried, knowing their assignment before Farfetch'd finishes. You may decline, Farfetch'd assures them, though they both understand the negative impacts of such a declaration can make upon their reputation as an upstanding member. Such a refusal can and has in the past been the undoing of a member. I will then assign the task to you both, being of the gravest importance at the moment. Turconnam has been kind enough to have written a translation book on the Baltimore language. It would be wise to take advantage. The language barrier is yet another obstacle. The 2 gulped, knowing that they are to agree to some type of negotiations with the Baltimore. Dihak, Farfetch'd says, facing him, then turns to Bodhi. Bodhi, You are to attempt to get an audience with the leader, general, captain, or whichever their title is, and negotiate a peaceful solution to this insane conflict. If they seek dragons, tell them true, we have none. Silky smiles. Indeed, after Jocunum takes the dragon. Precisely, Farfadet professes. Good move, Thiem congratulates Farfadet. Farfadet does not acknowledge any triumph. He turns to his seat and sits quietly with his hands rubbing his chin. The group begin to hold him expectantly. Farfadet proceeds with his eyes on them discerning. Does anyone agree or disagree with anything? Does anyone have something to add to the discussion? An undulate of whispers unfurls, but not a clear voice rises above. Very well, he avers. I take it you accept your task, then? Yes, Bodhi and Detak submit. In the meantime, we shall have group meditation on peace once a week. It is an ancient tradition that should have never been let go. Adjourn, Farfadet announces. Farfadet takes leave affirmative. He is followed close by Detak, then the others. Well, all except for Bodhi and Silky. The two stand with their eyes upon Jocunum, athirst, words upon their lips. Jocunum regards them meekly. Approaching Jocunum, the two are made aware of the other's intention. In silent evaluation, they debate who is first. Jocunum waits patiently, though feeling impatient. Bodhi gestures for Silky to proceed. Silky graciously accepts. In Jocunum's ear, Silky whispers, when your name was first mentioned as a potential member, none of us wanted it. Young Alphers are too rash. Your mother is persuasive. Then you spoke of peace and open communications, and we embraced your ideas. I was personally proud of you. I supported you. But now you speak of war. What has changed? Reestablish it. I also seek to warn you. Not all are your friends that are friends. She leans out and speaks low but direct. Our alliance with the Tundrans is tentative, I fear. How so? Jocunum is interested. She herself is untrusting. She harbors a certain fondness of the place. The boy Ali she left there also concerns her. I have spoken with the pirate, with Farfadet about it, in private with Farfadet about it, but he is too eager for peace to accept the true nature of our alliance. There is more than civil war in Tundran. I used the animals to spy when I was there. This Elderman Tavi is plotting. I do not know what the true nature of his deceit, but in his speech gave him away, and further investigation gave me proof. He is secretly siding with both the king and the Fistrans. Where his true alliance lies is anyone's guess. Perhaps it's his own selfish greed for power, Jocunum answers, matter-of-factly. He could be plotting to win the throne himself, pitting both sides against each other and watching them destroy themselves. Oh, Silky responds, her eyes wide with this revelation. How do you know? I don't, Jocunum professes. I just know how they think, Having spent so many months with him, Draconum equally understands how power-hungry minds work. Subsequently, fears of Ollie ascend, weighing on her heart. Fair enough, Silky says, studying Draconum curiously. How is this business with this common folk? She continues. Draconum's eyes sharpen. If you're gaining popularity, you must use your sway to unite us, not to break us apart, Silky informs her. Yes, agrees Bodhi, eavesdropping. Silky smacks her lips in disgust and turns to him. Now I have the privy to listen to you. Fair enough, Bodhi accepts. He looks directly into Draconum's eyes. You are smart, clever even. You may fool a lot of the Alpha, but I know that you are orchestrating something. I do not know what, but I know that what I heard that day on the stretcher. I never believed that you were some dragon kind before, but I doubt it now. Never in our history has any one Alpha stirred up so much trouble. I've backed you up from the day you started. Now my mind is unsettled. I am being truthful for you with you as a fellow council member, and I am expecting the same of you. Silky and Bodhi look at her expectantly. She stands a moment, considering her true intentions, now in the forefront of her mind. She is unwilling to divulge it, though. Besides, a lot of her intentions are in unresolved conflict. Mostly her Hofjar blood rules her mind, and her compassionate heart. Her impulses, but her soul, the taint of past deeds, still lurks beneath as a stargazer fish. She has celebrated it for some enduring past desires remain. I am the daughter of Asardaim, Hops of Sal, the hero that saved Hofjar several times over. Like my father, I was born with a great purpose, and that purpose is not to sit around and argue politics. I was given a gift of Hofjar. With this gift, I will save us. Do you not see that my birth was a gift, a chance against a bitter attrition? Their bitter attrition. In her mind, she believes it is wise stratum to attack them at their own home, to give them pause. Her father noted this, and now she ponders if the adroit Kairos would agree. This is her understanding, though will never be agreed upon by the council. That sounds like a lot of arrogance to me. True, you are born different, a boon perhaps, but if used wrong, a bane. Silky warns. I am not blind, Bodhi asserts. I saw your potential long before you came of age. Most of us did, but you get ahead of yourself. I know that Farfdir advises you. I also see that you are stubborn, and you do not heed his sage advice. You are far too smart for your own good. Sigrid puts her hand on Draconum's shoulder, smiling sympathetically. In her eyes, Draconum can see that she stands by what Bodhi says. She is done with their harangue and departs without a word. They both watch her, gather her things, and leave, considering her expressed desires. They understand for the first time that her position there is perhaps against her wishes. Draconum's mind can't stop revolving around the Tundrans and the Baltimoreans. It occurs to her that the refugees escaped Baltimoria may just be a ruse. Baltimore has a track record of breaking treaties and being deceptive. So why is this Tundran king willingly allowing them in? Surely they have to suspect. These games that men play are beyond the comprehension of Hofdarians, even her. Thank you for listening to Outed. Glad you enjoyed it. Remember, like, subscribe with your friends. And books are available, ebook or paperback, Amazon, Ingram, and Barnes & Noble. So, stay tuned. We have more chapters to go. And until next time.